Good afternoon, everybody. Thanks so much for joining us on this Wednesday as we're going to talk about digital marketing certificate programs at the University of Vermont in 30 minutes, and we want to make sure we have plenty of time for your questions. I did just put into the chat box, this session is being recorded. Please ask your questions throughout the presentation. We'll have plenty of time for questions throughout and at the end. So please do put those questions in the chat box and we'll get going here. My name is Nicole Willier-Fenton. I'm our content marketer at UVM's Professional and Continuing Education. And I have the very good fortune of working closely with Mr. Erik Harbison. Erik leads our program for digital marketing, and he is a digital marketing expert, guru, coach, guidance. I could probably keep going with acronyms to describe him as well. But Erik, thank you so much for being with us and talking about our programs and what is really happening out there. And you can see more about Erik's experience on the screen there today. So let's dive in. Let's back up a second before we start getting into some education. Let's talk about what's happening out there. And Erik, you advise and you help people get into roles in digital marketing. So what are you seeing out there that's happening in the digital marketing space in terms of careers?
Well, one thing to keep in mind here from a starting point is, let's go back a couple of years, 2019, 2020, when all of a sudden we found ourselves with time on our hands. Not that we had nothing to do, but it became a time to reflect on what can I be doing to develop skills. So there's this influx of professionals, not just marketers, but professionals and marketers thinking about where should I start developing skills, really to future-proof my career or to give myself an advantage as the pandemic starts to open back up or as I figure out where my role is going to go. So there's this hyper-focused time frame of skill development that was happening on one's own watch at home. And what that has done is that's created a lot of opportunities for, the outcomes we've read about: the Great Resignation, the Great Reshuffle, people going to become their own consultant, go into freelancing. So that's been an outcome of this hyper-focused area of professionals trying to develop skills, and in this case, these marketing skills.
Yeah, and in changing careers too. I think it's also been an opportunity for people to say, okay, what do I want to do? What do I really want to do? And you and I were talking a little bit about, people looking for that fulfillment and that flexibility. And so it's really interesting what has been happening in the job market over the last couple of years, and really in the last year, seeing such a shift of people changing positions. And what we have on this screen and one following here in a minute this is from LinkedIn. And this is focusing on, in digital marketing specifically, what are the skill sets? What are people looking for? And then we'll talk in a minute about how our digital marketing fundamentals and some of the other certificate programs can get you the skills that you're needing. So maybe, Erik, and I know this isn't an exhaustive list of what you're seeing out there, but what's kind of hot? What's happening in digital marketing careers?
So one cannot ignore the value that we see with video content and audio content. So words that come to mind: TikTok and podcasting. And it doesn't take much time, or you don't need to look very far to hear or see an example of this with not just with your own professional lives day to day, but maybe personally with people that you know. So when I think of other skills that it may fall into this list, it's the ability to be audio and video production, editing. Listen, if we taught ourselves how to learn how to do reels and TikToks, well, guess what? We now have a skill on video editing that actually is and can be a full-time job. The other evolution that has happened in the last couple of years is community management. And it meant something different 5 years ago than it does now, because there's so many different types of communities that exist. There's one in Slack, there could be one in multiple. LinkedIn, where these have become places where companies have looked to create relationships with customers and prospects. So I think the familiarity with video and audio equipment and editing, as well as the ability to be somebody who can manage engagement within a community, these are skills that are becoming roles.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things too, we've seen so much more of that. I'm actually been taking a class through TikTok that's from an agency, kind of creative. How do you you even begin to start a creative brief and understanding how you create content in TikTok. And one of the things that I thought was really interesting was that many brands, and you're seeing this more, are having a TikTok first approach to some of their creative and turning successful TikTok creative into more traditional advertising. So they're seeing what's working and what's trending and what's resonating with audiences and community. Talk about community. That's really how they build, and that's what they talk about in TikTok, and how that's then translating over into what we would think is more traditional advertising. So you're right on in terms of visual communication. I think that's a lot of the skill set that is needed. The other thing that we see so much as well, and maybe isn't as represented here, but is the data analytics.
Mm-hmm.
I think that position and that skill set shows up 9 times out of 10 because there's so much more information today. And so you need people in digital marketing that can assess what is going right and what is going wrong and what do we do about it. Do you have any thoughts on that?
It's one of those skills I think every marketer needs. And everyone that I've talked to, inclusive of the program we're about to talk about, it's part of the conversation. At a bare minimum, just be aware of what Google Analytics does, and they do a great job of giving you ways to get deeper into knowledge through certifications that they offer. But not many people know that recently, in the last, I think 3 weeks ago, Google announced that in July of next year, they're doing away with their old version of Google Analytics and requiring everyone to be using what they call Google Analytics 4. Who knew that, right? And who even knew that there was a difference between one and the other? So now is a great time. I've been telling clients of mine and people that I'm working with, you have a year to get comfortable with GA4.
Yeah.
And it feels like a long time, but it'll be here before you know it. Why not start today or tomorrow by just getting certified in GA4 so you have that foundational knowledge as a marketer?
Yeah, awesome advice. And thank you. And we're going to talk about how you can gain that digital analytics skills through our numerous courses here as well. One of the things I always like to show this slide because Erik leads our digital marketing fundamentals, but there is a deep bench behind you of people that are practitioners. And so one of the things that I hear all the time, I have the good fortune of talking to our students that come out of the program, and they always say, these instructors are out doing the work 9 to 5 and then teaching us what they did today in the class. And so it's so actionable. It's so real time. And one student I spoke with recently, she said, these guys have these amazing jobs, but they're not intimidating at all. They're so down to earth and they can, educate us and come down to different levels, where they meet students where they are. I didn't know if you wanted to say anything about that aspect of our program, which I think makes it unique.
Well, listen, you're only as good when it comes to courses as your instructors and their ability to make you feel in an environment of learning. And all these instructors were handpicked. And I think that's important because we're not just chasing titles and pedigrees. We're chasing people that are people and can connect with marketers that are at various stages. And the other thing about all these instructors, keep in mind, is that these instructors have all agreed to be a connection point for anybody in the courses or the fundamentals course for a lifetime. So we have students that have been contacting these instructors 6, 9, 12 months after the course had completed to ask a question about a new job or a project they're working on in their day job. So these instructors are picked with purpose, and it's just an extreme benefit for anybody who's in the program.
Yeah, and I can't say enough about what great people they are and experts as well. So we really appreciate everybody on the team. So we're going to deep dive really into digital marketing fundamentals, which you're seeing here. But there's 3 levels of digital marketing education that you can get through University of Vermont in our professional and our continuing education department. And we're going to deep dive again into digital marketing fundamentals. But I wanted you to be able to see the progression. It doesn't have to stop there. You can go into the intermediate where we have the online analytics certification. So that's where, if you really want to dive into and get to know that Google Analytics 4, that's a certification that you can do to layer on your fundamentals, social media. And then there's also, for those experienced marketers that are looking to get maybe really advance and become that C-suite in terms of digital marketing and strategy, is the Certified Digital Marketing Specialist certificate that we have as well. So just make note that your learning doesn't have to stop with us with digital marketing. So let's talk about the fundamentals. And really what I love about this course, and students love about this course, is you get such a baseline in all of the components of digital marketing. And then you then really can focus in on areas that you want to explore more. Maybe just back us up a little bit. What are some of the objectives, and what are people really going to get out of this program, Erik?
So this is a great course for those that really fall into a couple of camps, and one of which is, how does it all work? Meaning, I'm new to marketing. I was an accountant 6 months ago, and I'm ready to dedicate my life to a career in digital marketing. Where do I start? And this program helps to give you the landscape of what channels and disciplines you need to be aware of. It's also for that marketer that's in the role that is focused maybe on one channel and keeps on hearing from the other department or other team about SEO or another channel that they're not quite sure what they mean, and they want to improve their vocabulary within digital marketing and their just overall IQ of how all these channels work together. This course is a perfect fit for that. And then it's the marketing leader, someone who maybe has a career in traditional marketing or other types of marketing that isn't digital, and they need to understand what's being talked about from the teams that they've developed or have hired or the agencies that they work with. And this is a great way to understand how all the channels work together, best practices, tools you should be using, resources to continue learning. And I think those are the three types of individuals that this program is going to be great for.
Yeah, I just spoke with two students that took digital marketing in the fall last year. And one is an account executive at a newspaper, and they have a ton of digital media. And she said she said SEO isn't part of what I do, but now I have a better language as to what our team is doing and how I can work with clients. The other person I spoke to is a graphic designer, and she said, I wanted to understand how I can leverage my graphic design more with digital marketing, more with ad spends, more with social media. So while they're not doing the work of digital marketers today, they wanted to make sure, to your point, that they were contributing more effectively to their team. So I think that's a really great aspect to consider, that maybe you're not in it right now, but how do you contribute, as a member of the team? So just walk us through, when we have here, you reference some of the digital marketing channels that we go over, but what is the class like? How often do you meet? What can students expect if they sign up for fundamentals?
Yeah, so I will say, I say this every time that I kick off every session, is you're going to get out what you put into it, but we don't ask you to put too much into it, because what we're looking for commitment-wise is anywhere from 5 to 8 on the low end. 10, again, depends on your schedule and obligations you have of your time. So if you can find 5 to 8 hours a week, then you can certainly increase and achieve those learning objectives and career objectives that you have as a marketer or wannabe marketer. But we go Wednesday to Tuesdays, the cycle of the course. We unlock materials every week so that you can get through a module on a weekly basis. And every week, the cadence is you're going to consume content through some very quick on-demand videos. You're going to join a live session. If you can, it's recorded. In the live session, I'm going to cover the key topics you need to know about this channel. Because again, to learn a channel in 1 week, it's a lot of content, but our instructors do a great job of condensing the things you need to know around that specific channel. Then you have an assignment. When I say assignment, don't think of, anything too overwhelming, because all it is a discussion board prompt where you get to share your thoughts with a given assignment or exercise, and that's a win, because you get to actually do something to put your learning to action. But then you also get the chance of engaging with other students and seeing what they thought for that assignment. So you learn from not just the instructors, but also the students. And we encourage engagement there by commenting on those students too. And we've had some great relationships build student to student because of hey, they both came from the same background, they live in the same area, they have the same focus or desire to be in a specific marketing channel. So that sort of engagement can help with how students learn in the program. And then lastly, capping this with the Capstone Project, which we'll talk about in a couple seconds.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for teasing that, because I hear so many times from the students how valuable this is to demonstrate what they learned. Clearly, that's the point. But if you're looking for a job, you can demonstrate what you know. If you are looking to advance, you can take that capstone project, and we're going to hear from a student in just a minute. And she took her capstone project to one of her other team leads that she was working with to show some new ideas that maybe that the team hadn't thought about. So many different ways. Business owners, I think, use the capstone too. Looking at, what do I want to do here? What might I want to start to build on a digital side? Give us a little bit more. What is expected in the capstone?
So the Capstone Project, I say this again when I introduce it. I just say I want to make it as simple as possible for you to walk away with a valuable asset that can benefit you in all the ways you just mentioned. But what it is meant to take any business or brand that the student is connected to, and a lot of times it's where they work, and then I run it through a framework that is tried and true, and it stands the test of time. It's used by any brand agency known anywhere today, and you follow that template to build a digital marketing plan, an integrated digital marketing plan that the student gets to create on their own. And I give templates and how-tos and guidance on how to create it. Students just have to put all the information together. And what the outcome is not just a cohesive plan of how a brand is going to navigate a specific challenge by using a specific campaign theme that touches all the channels that they learn through the course, but it gives them a chance to get practice presenting and articulating their ideas through recording an audio portion that aligns with the slides. Now, that outcome I've seen, as we see in the student here that we've interviewed, I've heard students that are using this link of this recording to get interviews, to get promotions, to validate the learnings that they got in the course. So it's tangible and it's a walk away. And the best news is, for a lot of students, this is the first time building a plan. And the best news is that it never goes away. You can replace the framework and the learning with any brand, anytime, and still produce an integrated marketing plan. So it's timeless in terms of what you take away with the Capstone experience.
Yeah, time well spent if you want to advance in digital marketing or start in digital marketing. Thank you for sharing that. And I just wanted to, encourage, please put some questions in the chat box. Erik's here. We're here to answer questions about digital marketing, about careers in digital marketing, and of course, more specific about the course, Digital Marketing Fundamentals, and then some of the other learning. I want to share a quick video. We teased this a little bit. This is from a former digital marketing fundamentals student, Anilka Lopez. She is outside Boston and she works for Reebok. And why I wanted to share this too is I wanted to also have our participants understanding that maybe if you're not in a digital marketing track, or maybe you're kind of wanting to understand what digital marketing is and how you fit in, Anilka isn't in digital marketing. She, as a product manager, of course, her product and what she works on intersects daily with the digital marketing team. So she really wanted to understand more about the language and understand how she can leverage what she's doing to support the digital marketing team and vice versa. So let's hear from Anilka here. We'll be back in just a sec.
I work for Reebok as a product manager, and specifically on the kids footwear side. And I work a lot with different cross-functional teams, and one of them is digital. And the digital person that I was working with, she is great, and she can kind of give me the background of anything that she's doing for us on the kids side. But not having that knowledge can only hinder how much I can also help her. And as a storyteller, creative, it's really good to understand all the points of the business, even if I'm not the owner of it. And digital marketing was just that next step that I felt in my career I had to do.
And I think that resonates, with the other two students that I was referencing, an account manager at a newspaper and a graphic designer. Maybe it's not their day to day to be in digital marketing, but they really wanted to understand the landscape and the language and how they can actually support that more effectively. So I think that's a really important. Do you see that a lot, Eric? It's probably a mix, I would imagine, in the course.
Yes, it is a mix. I'd say there is a percentage always of students that are coming from, complementary positions or roles. But one thing to touch on here that we were talking about is that, the investment in the course, I'm a big believer in investing in yourself. And by investing in this course, in the cases of Anilka here, what she's done is increase her earning potential because she has a greater awareness of how her role impacts the business because she understands how other points of the business work. So depending on where you work, if you're looking to increase your earning potential, whether it's a promotion or when you find your next role, what you take away from this fundamentals course can absolutely be additive to what you're doing in your current role, even if it is not digital marketing.
Yeah, such a good point. Thank you for reinforcing that. And on this slide here, somewhat kind of backs up what you're saying too, in terms of show off the credentials, show off that you are continuing your education, that you're putting the time in. And how we do that today, resumes are, of course, still utilized, but everybody goes and looks at your LinkedIn profile, when you're job searching. And I imagine, Eric, you advise people on beefing up that LinkedIn profile. And put your digital badge there, put your learning, put your certificates, put the education, show prospective hiring managers that this is something that you believe in and you're putting the time in for yourself as well. The other cool thing about the digital badging that we have in many of our certificate programs is that it connects right into the skills that you earned in the program that also connect to jobs that are out there looking for the skills that you just earned. So it really comes full circle. It's a digital badge. It shows the credentials that you just put the time and energy into gaining, but then it goes so much beyond that. And so you can really leverage your digital badge from University of Vermont to utilize the right position, utilizing the skills that you just earned. So our digital marketing fundamentals is coming up soon. I know it's May, but here comes summer and I'm looking forward to it. So July is the next start date of our digital marketing fundamentals, starting July 18th. There will be another one in the fall, so if you're planning or you could look at also adding on. Maybe the intermediate is something you want to do in the fall. So you want to get that foundational knowledge this summer and add on the intermediate or the next level as well. I wanted to address a question here. We have a question that says, I'm from Jamaica. I have a general understanding of digital marketing and the various platforms of Google Analytics. Hang on one sec, just got to click see more. Oh, sorry, I did too many times. And MailChimp and lots of other marketing channels. I've experienced a data science, web development, awesome. Based on that, which of the certifications would you recommend? Let's zip over to that here in just a second. What are your thoughts on that, Eric? Maybe intermediate, if there's an area you want to dive deeper into?
I mean, it's good background. I think my question there would be, what's the end goal? Is the end goal because this person is looking for a new role to leverage what they've learned? Or is it, I want to just be prepared to excel in my current role? Are you able to answer that question in terms of what the outcome is? What's the objective in terms of getting a certification? It's going to help you. You want it to help you do what?
Yeah, that's a great question. So we'll give you just a minute to be able to answer that question, and then we'll come back to that. So what are you trying to accomplish with potential education? So I just wanted to come back to this as well, just looking at cost, at timing, how do you register? Our classes fill up. So I would highly recommend, if you're looking at saving your seat for July or looking forward maybe to the fall, please don't wait because classes do fill up. And we want you to get a seat in our digital marketing fundamentals. But the other thing that we didn't talk about yet is tapping into Erik's skill set and amazing ability to advise people in this career and how to get a digital marketing career. Can you talk about what is the support, that kind of add-on module, the more marketable you? What is that we offer our students?
So, I mean, what I found is that there's a lot of students that are joining this program that want this to turn into a job, whether it's the first job or the next job in marketing. And what a lot of marketers miss is the importance of building your personal brand as a way to be a foundation so that you are attractive to those that want to hire you for what you do well. And where marketers have a hard time, it's articulating what their true unique value proposition is, and then making sure that's clear and consistent across all the touch points that they forget that people can see or will see in conversations. So it's giving guidance around all those pieces. What should you be having? What should you have in your resume, LinkedIn? Do you have a personal website that displays all the things you've done, including your capstone? There's ways to make sure that that is where it needs to be, but listen, a lot of it is just about helping marketers get focused so that they don't waste time simply just applying online to every job they think is interesting or has a nice title. That is a method, but that's usually not the most effective. But that's what's focused here on career coaching. Plus, for those that are in a role, let's say, and they're inheriting a team, trying to build up a team, it's giving guidance in those career moments as well.
Great. Thank you so much. And I tell everybody, take advantage of the time with Erik because you don't get that opportunity very often. So please do take advantage of that. And I want to, and I see, thank you very much for the answer. The end goal is to get the certification and excel in my career. So knowing that, what do you think, Erik?
So knowing that, so if you're looking to excel in your career, if you're looking for more hands-on experience, the intermediate probably makes sense because I know there's some modules in there that allow you to go deeper into some of these areas. And if you don't have a certification in analytics, then I'd suggest the intermediate because that would be a good thing to take away, having spent time learning more about the analytics piece, which it sounds like you have some experience in, but I'm not sure to what level. But that should give you some more currency, if you will, in advancing your career.
Yeah, and probably back to the point you made a few minutes ago too, just great timing in terms of Google Analytics changing. What a great time to have a certification in Google Analytics to bring that to your current work or advancement or whatever you're looking to do. So again, just wanted to put these up, the different levels. So we'd love you to start at any point as to where you are in your digital marketing journey, whether it's the fundamentals. And again, the next session starting in July, and then looking forward to that additional learning, that deeper dive. And one of the things that I wanted to just make note about the intermediate level is those are rolling admissions. So those are self-paced. So you could take fundamentals starting July 18th and that 8 weeks later, and then say, okay, I'm going to, on my own pace, I'm going to work through the social media market. I'm going to work through the digital analytics certification. And then if you want to layer on the third level of the advanced digital marketing, that begins the first of every month. So just, thinking about that education journey and timing, how that could work for you. So that's what we have for today. I just wanted to see if there's any additional questions, give you the opportunity to ask anything of Erik. Now's your chance. You get a digital marketing guru on the line here. You want to ask him some questions. And then just really encouraging, if you've been on the fence, if you've been thinking about advancing your skill set in digital marketing, broadening your skill set, the language of digital marketing, we highly encourage it. It's an incredible program. We have students from all over the country, sometimes all over the world, joining in. So you get great perspective and you get to learn from people who are doing the work every single day. So really look forward to that. Looks like we're kind of quiet on the questions. Erik, is there anything else you wanted to add before we wrap up?
Sure. Well, there's a question about financial aid.
Yeah, about financial aid. Thank you for asking that question. No, you didn't miss that. And the only thing that I really wanted to make note, there isn't really financial aid, but what there is we do have a discount for, you can see there that's listed for any UVM Med Center affiliates and some additional affiliates there. The other thing too is that you do get a discount as an alumni from the program. So if you take one of the programs, you can have some savings on additional programs. So that's a good one too. And what is, okay, gives you, oh, sorry, just have to click see more on these. give you the opportunity to develop and execute marketing plans. Eric, do you know the answer to that one? I don't know as much about the social media and analytics certification.
So the question is, does the intermediate give you the opportunity to know how to develop plans?
Yeah, yeah, develop and execute marketing plans.
So I'll say yes, to some degree. Because once you listen, the certifications that are in social media and analytics, certifications are really just validating that you've understood what you've learned and can answer some questions tied to it. Now, what I'll say is between that and some of the content that's covered in the modules, to be able to stitch together a plan of attack on how to execute, you should be able to connect those dots at the end of that course.
Yeah. I think if you're looking more for fundamental plan, the Capstone Project really with digital fundamentals can serve, I think, that role a little bit, maybe more effectively than what we're seeing in the social media and the online analytics. Do you offer internships after, or is it just the final project? We don't offer internships. We should offer internships, but I know Erik has lots of connections in digital marketing.
Mm-hmm. So what we do have, let's say after fundamentals you complete, you have the Capstone Project, and you're somebody looking to get a career, start a career, whether it's entry level, what have you. Part of being connected in this community is that opportunities come up all the time. There's a private LinkedIn group that you can join after the program is over. In there, there's always opportunities shared. Plus, like said here, connect with me. I have a couple of programs that I like to mention to people that are interested in going the next level in terms of getting hands-on experience.
Right. Yeah. Thank you. And that's a great question. I'm glad that you asked that question. Karen also says marketing background, writing, email, SEO to some extent, but not interested in learning back end of analytics. Not sure which digital course to take. I'll let you certainly go down that path, Erik. I still think that fundamentals is so important because, what I'm hearing, it probably sounds a little bit like me. I have a content background, a broadcast journalism background, some SEO. I've taken the deep dive into SEO, but still the fundamentals gives you such a well-rounded perspective. Any other thoughts?
I agree with that. And I guess the question to Karen still is, investing in a certification to help you do what? Is it to get a promotion? Is it to find another job? Or you're happy where you're at? You're just looking to enrich your skill sets. If it's just to enrich your skill set, then the fundamentals would be the route to go. And while not everyone loves analytics or has interest in the back end, the way it's covered in this fundamentals program is enough to get you educated without having to get in too much detail that you don't want to. But again, talk about being well-rounded afterwards. That would be the program to take. But again, it's all depending on what you want to do with the investment into any certification.
Yeah, good point. Thank you. Always coming back to what are you trying to accomplish, right? Lori says, advantage, disadvantage of taking a certificate program through an accredited university like the UVM versus a complete college program, going and getting a master's degree in digital marketing. What are your thoughts on that, Erik?
I could go on for an hour about this topic because it's a very, very common question. Thank you, Lori, for asking it, because I wouldn't say there's a disadvantage to taking the course. If your end goal is to get a job in marketing, you can easily do that by taking any, if you're starting from zero, start with fundamentals, and you might find a way to be on a path to get a job in marketing that doesn't cost you the full boat of tuition. Because again, it really depends on what is the outcome. If the outcome is to get a job in marketing, you can do that without a college degree. So there's no and even if you have a college degree, that's fine too. But if your end goal is still to get a job in marketing and you need a little bit more education, start with fundamentals, and the coaching that you get as part of this program can put you on the right path to, I teach a technique that doesn't require you to apply online in order to get jobs that you want. And if you follow that path, you could have a job in marketing in 12 weeks.
Also, question, are these certifications accredited? Well, they are through an accredited university, the University of Vermont as well. You're welcome, Lori. Thank you, everybody, for these awesome questions. We're really excited to see questions and activity and interest in digital marketing, and you're welcome as well for those responses. Eric, thank you so much. Always really so thankful that you're on our team. We're so fortunate to have you and the rest of the digital marketing team. Oh, Alice says, I took fundamentals and it was eye-opening. Such an eye-opener. Great. Alice, so nice to see you. Thanks for being here with us and supporting your journey and UVM Digital Marketing Fundamentals. So thank you, everybody. Don't forget, July 18th, the start date. Don't wait. Secure your seat, sign up. You get a chance to learn from Erik Harbison and the rest of this amazing team. Erik, thank you so much. We'll see you in July. Take care, everybody. Have a great afternoon.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great day.